a loose cannon. He will lose his temper, Bill. You don't think I don't know that? What I'm doing is to keep some conservatives quiet and happy. I'm going to need their support on the crime bill. And I've had their support on NAFTA. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I have to meet them halfway, Hillary. Whether I want to or not. It just is what it is. Look, don't worry about this hayseed cowboy. Yeah, he's got the brains but skills. He's smiling. I don't like him, but I'll deal with him. You don't have to worry about this because we have enough to deal with Whitewater. Just keep talking about health care and they'll go away. I hope you're right, honey. They don't have a clue. 8 a.m. Central. JR is having breakfast with his mother, grandmother, and sister. Try to understand everybody. Jim Zito got deflated yesterday by the president, Betsy said. Well, for the first time, Daddy was right, Christine said. JR and his stupid dork parties. Christine, Elizabeth said. Come on, Betsy, don't you forget that this is still my ranch? JR should just have just as much of a good time like the rest of you. But Jim runs the ranch. Would you stop making excuses for him and think like a Swain for a change? JR ain't hurt nobody from his parties. Glass ain't being smashed. Police ain't being called. 12 p.m. Central. Jim and Kyle arrived home and they sit down for lunch. Fried chicken lunch. JR came in from swimming and sat down to lunch with the rest of the family. 2:15 p.m. In a small caravan of cars bearing the Hendrick family leaves the ranch bound for Midland International Airport. 2:30 p.m. The Hendrick family board a chartered jet that would take them to DFW Airport. The passenger manifest on the plane included Johnny and Rufus, pilot and co-pilot, Jim and Betsy, Claude and Becky, Kyle and Madison, George and Christine, and JR and Elizabeth up front near the cockpit. 3:05 p.m. The plane taxis down the runway and takes off, bound for DFW International Airport. Maybe you can hang with your friends, and Kyle and your daddy can behave themselves, Elizabeth said. Let's hope so, Grandma, Chair said. At least Mama insisted I have a couple of friends along so that I'm not alone with nothing to do. And if she hadn't, I'd call her on it. Your granddaddy wouldn't want you treated that way. He raised you a proper gentleman. 4 p.m. The plane arrives at Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. Brent and Calvin greet JR. I'm going back to Odessa with you on the 30th, Brent said. I have to meet Dad in Dallas on the 28th, Calvin said. They all get in cars and drive to the Hendrick estate in Gainesville. 6 p.m. Jim decides to take the boys out for their early Christmas present. He first takes out Kyle. His present to Kyle was a 1994 Ford F-150 twin cab for the sake of his first grandson. He takes JR to look at his early present in the garage, a red 1994 Hummer. You want to have a good time with your friends in college? Jim said. Who am I to deny you that? 8 p.m. After dinner, the family opens presents. Betsy got some diamond studded earrings from Jim, a pen set from JR, and a Polaroid camera from Kyle and Madison. Kyle gets a month's supply of diapers for him and Madison, and a powerful car stereo from Elizabeth, along with some blue jeans for Kyle from Christine, who also bought the couple some cookware. Elizabeth gets a CD player from Christine. Kids these days, Elizabeth said, as Peabody, the dog, approaches her. Get away from me, you little... She also gets a flannel shirt and jeans from Thomas from El Paso, and a blue society dress should Jim decide to entertain government dignitaries at the ranch. Christine gets a pearl necklace from Kyle and Madison. She gets a pen set from JR. Jim gets her a stereo for her room. Elizabeth gets her a King James Bible, despite the fact that Christine prefers the more modern version. Christine also gets her blue jeans and sequins from her parents. JR gets a new cell phone from his mother. Elizabeth said she was getting a new horse back at the ranch also. JR gets some discs for his IBM ThinkPad from his mother. A book about the Kennedy White House from Betsy. Some winter gloves from Christine. And some hiking boots from his father. JR got Blair some floppy disks for his computer. And he buys some fudge from Susie Southworth shop in Midland that he also gets from Calvin. Hold up, JR, Betsy said. Hold up. I got something for your new laptop. A new external floppy drive, and a year's free service with Prodigy. Thank you, Mama, Jared said, hugging her with tears in his eyes. I wasn't going to let your daddy get cheap with the internet seeing you're in college. December 25, 1993. "5 a.m. Jared wakes up in his room. He goes downstairs to sit before the glittering Christmas tree. The fire is going on the fireplace. His grandmother had left him some peanut butter fudge to enjoy at the coffee table. Christmas Eve was the day to open presents, and Christmas Day was the day to enjoy them. Except for the rest, the tradition Kyle set for George, and later on for his kids. They would have to wait to open their Christmas presents Christmas morning, a Dutchstone tradition. 6 a.m. Jim wakes up and goes downstairs. Ellie, the morning servant, makes him a black coffee and gives him some cigarettes as he sat down by the fireplace. I literally didn't want you to bring those friends, Jim said. But there are some of Kyle's friends coming, and you need someone to hang out with. 7:10 p.m. George woke up Kyle and Madison to open presents. From Jim and Betsy, he got a fire truck. From his mother, he got a model of Aladdin on his magic carpet. From Kyle, he got a rocking horse that reminded JR of the rocking horse of his boyhood. From Santa, he got the Aladdin video. The original video had been on loan, so Santa knew George wanted his own video, which he would have to share with his baby brother. From Jim, he got his first tricycle. 9:05 a.m. Kyle Festus and James Moore hit the basketball court for a game. 11:35 a.m. JR and his friends decided to go for a drive. So JR decides to take Calvin and Blair for a drive around the lake. JR decides that Calvin gets to drive to the lake, and Brent gets to drive from the lake. 12:40 p.m. JR and his friends arrive back at the mansion in Gainesville. Kyle and his friends are rounding up a game of basketball. 3:40 p.m. Kyle and his friends are partying on the basketball on the backyard patio. So JR, Calvin, and Brent decided to go fishing on JR's pontoon boat, Victoria. Their plan was to catch a few crappies. 6 p.m. JR didn't catch any fish, but his friends caught 2 bass each.